Pay's checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place. Pay's. It checks out. Activation required. See Pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn. It's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Welcome to StormCast, the official Manchester Storm podcast, and we've got another member of the team lined up for you to talk to here. I'm Craig Anderson, and the summer continues on as we count the days and weeks down to the new season, so what better way to do it than to meet another member of the Storm team. So, if you like what you've heard and want to listen to more, get subscribing now. It's the only place to hear from everyone at Manchester Storm. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed so far. On to our next guest, and this player is a brand new face not only to Manchester Storm, but to the Elite League. He's been on something of a European adventure in recent years, playing in Norway, Austria, Hungary and Germany after many years around the AHL and the ECHL. His experience will no doubt be invaluable to the Storm over the coming season after arriving from Del 2 side Ice Piraten Crimmitschau, and I'm delighted to say he's here to tell us all about it. In this episode of StormCast, we're speaking with forward Tim McGauley. Tim, welcome to StormCast. Great to meet you. So as we speak, where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Nelson, British Columbia. That's where my parents are living right now. So I finished the summer here just to spend time with them and just help out with little chores here and there.
And have you been quietly planning for your move to Manchester yet? Or is that something you'll do maybe closer to the time?
Yeah, I think it'll be something closer to the time when we coordinate with the staff and everything, get flights all figured out and that kind of thing. But no, for now I'm just working out and getting ready for the season. I'm never been in England before, so this is going to be a pretty cool experience for me and my girlfriend over here. She's not here now, but she's down there. But anyways, it's going to be a cool experience for us. We're very excited about it, and I've heard a lot of good things about Manchester, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent. So yeah, let's talk about your move. It's fair to say you've been well travelled in recent years. You've gone to Norway, Austria, Germany, and Hungary. So why was a move to England the next one for you to tick off?
Well, I think for me personally, when I first came over to Europe, this goes back maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe 6 or 7 years, maybe, but I really wanted to explore the world, and I was playing hockey in North America. I was getting up and down with the East Coast and the American Hockey League, and I figured, you know what, I would love to see more of the world. So that's why I've seen so many countries as I have. And like I said, England is one I have never seen before, and it's always been one that's been on the list because it's such I've heard so many cool things about it, like about England in general. Of course, London and Manchester, and Liverpool has so much history there as well, and I like history, so it was always on my list. And then when Manchester came calling, I was, it was really hard to turn that down just because of where it's at. And it's, for me, I think it's one of the staple cities in, not only in London, but not only in England, but also in the world as well. So I think it's a very cool place for us to go. And it was definitely on our list of places to go for sure.
Is there anywhere in particular in England you want to visit while you're over here?
Well, of course, London, because that's what everyone talks about is London and that kind of thing. But to be honest, I've really been wanting to see a Manchester United game. I know there's a couple, Manchester City, Manchester United, right?
Yep.
That's the two big clubs there. And I'm not sure which one the Manchester Storm fans are all part of, but I know Erling Haaland. I don't know him, but I just know of him. I saw him play when he was in Norway. So I thought that was very cool. And he's a Man City guy, isn't he? Or is he Man
That's
United?
Right, Manchester City, yeah.
He's Man City guy, yeah. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to go down there and see one of those games. That's high on my list for sure. I heard so many cool things about the atmosphere that the English fans bring to the games, and I'm sure they probably bring it to the hockey games as well. But I think it's a little bit different when you have maybe 60,000 people instead of the smaller rinks. But no, that's something that's been very cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But I'm also looking forward to just new culture, just meeting new people again. I think that's I'm very excited to do that.
So that being said, was the Elite League, going back to your hockey career, was it coming to the Elite League something you've wanted to play in before making the move? And if so, why was it an attraction for you?
Yeah, well, I know a lot of hockey players I used to play with that are playing in the Elite League or have played in the Elite League. And like I said, I know I sound like a broken record, but I've heard a lot of good things from those players about England. I know it's more of a North American kind of style of hockey because there's so many North Americans in the English League, which is something I think is very cool because that's kind of the style of hockey I'm accustomed to. And of course, being in Europe for, I believe this is I'm not even sure, 6th or 7th year in Europe. It is a bit different style of hockey with a lot of the Europeans. There's a lot of skating and more, a lot of skill and lots of skating for sure. I'm not saying that that's not what I'm going to expect in England by any means, but I just know from playing in the East Coast in the American League, I know how Canadians and Americans play hockey. I'm more used to their kind of style because I've been, grew up with it and I've been playing it for so long. So that was one reason why I want to go there. I know the competition level is going to be, it's going to be good. And it's going to be something that I'm hopefully remember playing when I was in the East Coast in the American League as well. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, lots of Canadians. I haven't been on a team with more than, I'm not sure, 4 Canadians, I guess. And
that's right. Yeah.
In quite some time. So it's going to feel almost a bit like home, which is going to be weird.
So what have you learned? I know you guys like to do your homework when you weigh up a move. What have you learned about the Storm and the organization you'll be representing next season?
Well, funny enough, actually, I haven't met anybody in person, but over the phone, of course, I've met a lot of people. And the coach, Cam, I guess Critch, I guess you guys call him, is he used to go to my school in Notre Dame in Saskatchewan, actually.
Wow.
So that's kind of that was a strange topic when we figured that out, and very interesting because Wilcox is a super tiny place. It's where I'm from. There's maybe 300 inhabitants. So for him to go to school there, and I think he went to school maybe with my sisters or something like that, maybe back in the day. But
is the statue up yet? I've got to know, is there a statue up of him yet?
No, not yet. I'm gonna put in a petition though, so we're all gonna go on. No, it's really cool, and other than that though, I actually, strangely enough, I don't know anybody who's on this team so far. I played against some guys in the East Coast and in some of the European leagues as well, but I don't actually know anybody on the team personally. So I'm looking forward to meeting the boys, and I know hockey guys for the most part are pretty good dudes, so I'm excited to know them and to hang out with them. And so it's and I'm also very excited to meet the Brits. Hopefully, we got a few on the squad too. So I heard those guys are good. They're good time. They're fun, and so I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys as well.
Good. So tell us about you as a player. What attributes do you bring to the team next season, and what can fans expect from you?
Well, I'm a two-way centerman. I like to make sure I take care of my own zone. This is something that's been instilled in me since I was, playing junior hockeys as a young guy, 16, 17 years old. So two-way centerman, but also I can make plays offensively. And that's kind of where I guess you could say, the magnifying glass is more on your offensive game. And that's kind of where I kind of come into play. I like to make good passes. I'm a good shooter. On the power play, I like to make it play half wall or goal line guy. I can find guys with a really good cross seam. I'm good on faceoffs. And I'm good. I like to think I'm good in puck battles too. I win a lot of puck battles on the wall. I'm not a big guy. I don't throw a bunch of big hits, but I definitely make it hard on defensemen to make the first pass. If there's a puck in deep and I get there first, or I'm getting there second, I'll make the play very hard for that D-man to make that next play and to turn over pucks. And for me, that's where I think a lot of offense is created, is when you turn over pucks in the offensive zone, then you can have quick strikes. And if we play with people that can, shoot the puck well, make plays quick, which I'm sure exactly the Storm has in their roster, it's going to be a fun year. And I think fans can expect a lot of offensive production, but as well responsibility in the defensive zone as well.
Imagine buying your kid a toy only to find the batteries aren't included, or buying furniture but missing the tools to build it. Frustrating, right? Now imagine the exact same feeling, but you're paying way more. That is what buying business software usually feels like. Fragmented, disconnected, and incredibly expensive. Odoo completely changes that. Odoo is a complete, fully integrated business suite where all your apps actually talk to each other. We're talking automated lead routing for your sales team, seamless AI integration, and intuitive point-and-click website builder. It's everything your business needs to scale, saving you time, headaches, and money. Stop piecing your software together. Go to odoo.com. That's ODOO.com to learn more.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Now, I want to talk about your family. I was doing a bit of investigative work. I say investigative work. I was just doing my homework, basically. You've got 3 brothers and 3 sisters who've all played hockey at various levels. You're the last one standing of your siblings in terms of having a career. What was it like in a family where ice hockey basically ran through the core of all of you?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Actually, there's a little correction. Actually, I have 3 brothers and I have 4 sisters.
Wow, okay.
4, yeah. I think Elite Prospects or one of those websites has it down as 3, but my eldest sister, I believe, wasn't on there. But she played professional hockey in Japan a long time ago. But yeah, last guy standing in the family is pretty surreal, I guess. I mean, eventually, of course, it was going to come down to at least somebody being the last person. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I came from a big family. I'm number 4 from the bottom, so I'm kind of in the middle.
Right.
And yeah, there was so much going on in my house growing up. I have to thank my parents a ton because they let us shoot pucks in the garage. Our garage is completely destroyed. Every kid shot at least 200 pucks a day. So there's 8 kids. That's 1,600 pucks every day.
It's a lot of holes.
You're not hitting the net at all. There's holes all over the walls.
I can imagine.
Everything. So, and even inside, like we were stick handling lots, and like the walls are all busted up. My parents try to keep it clean the first month or 2, and then after that, they're like, okay, you know what? It's not going to happen. Let them do their thing. And yeah, the walls in the houses were completely destroyed. Everything was just, puck marks everywhere. But that's what made us hockey players and good hockey players at that. So I definitely have a big respect for my parents for letting us do that. And not only letting us doing that, but having us doing that made us better hockey players in the end. And yeah, that's the only reason why I'm still playing, I guess, is because I still have that fun and I still have that same energy as I did as when I was a kid. And yeah, my siblings, really competitive people, all hockey players, all aggressive, all have short tempers. So there's a lot of fights going on. But at the end of the day, I think we all had a really good time. And I'm really fortunate to come from a big family. I know as the years go on, you really see how rare it is. It's expensive too, of course. So it's not so easy, but I'm really fortunate and really blessed. And I don't want to take it for granted. That's for sure.
You talk about the competitive streak. That was actually going to be my next question, but I'm going to go a bit further on that. Did the competitiveness just stay with hockey, or did it extend into board games like Monopoly, or even just out in the street playing other different things?
Oh yeah, it extended to everywhere. Yeah, we had stories of. I'm not going to say any names, but we had stories of like my one brother was playing my one sister in a card game, and he lost. The next thing you know, he punched her in the head kind of thing. Because he's just like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do it. But just like that instant reaction. And it's hard to get away from that because like I feel like we're always so competitive, and with siblings, and I'm sure anybody out there who's had siblings knows this too. It's like there's nothing like a sibling rivalry. It's just, especially when you're close in age too, like you work out together, you always want to make sure you're beating your older brother or you're beating your younger brother. And you can't lose to your younger brother if you're the older brother kind of thing. So no, we've had plenty of arguments. And actually just yesterday, I just was playing a video game with my younger brother. And it's funny because I'm like 31, I guess now, and he's 25 or 26. So we're adults, but still we're playing this video game and one-on-one, and I'm losing. I can't handle it. I just got to turn off the video game and walk outside before I just throw a huge temper tantrum. And it's funny because on the ice, I'm like composed. I know people want to get under my skin and get me off my game, but I'm mentally strong. I'm like, okay, I know what's happening here. I'm not going to fall into this trap. But then when you're at home, it's just like that mental stuffness that I had on the ice, it's just gone. And I just, yeah, I freak out sometimes, I guess, kind of thing. But I mean, that's part of growing up, I guess, and that's part of having a family. Is like you're gonna have rivalries like that, and you know what? So what if the Monopoly board goes flying down the stairs every now and then? Like that's just part of the fun of growing up with kids and a big family.
Sure, and of course, sibling rivalry aside, I'm making the assumption, the pretty safe assumption that they're all proud of you. You're still playing and still playing at a very high level as well. But how much did that grounding help you in your career, particularly, of course, in your early days when you were starting out?
Oh, it helped me a ton. It really did. It developed me into it made me mature faster as a hockey player, I would imagine, just because I had so many older siblings who were so competitive and who were so good at what they did, and not like we were talking about before, not just hockey, but like in school and in baseball or like board games. We were saying like so many topics of life that they were just so better than me at that I had to catch up, or I'm left in the dust. And that being said, too, my older brother was a good example of, he I still remember the times when he turned from being the guy who didn't really care much about hockey to like turned it on. He was working out all the time, shooting pucks and stick handling. And then I just wanted to be like, I looked up to him. So I started doing what he was doing. I started shooting pucks more. I started working out more. And that was when I was a young kid, 11, 12. And of course, as you get older and the more years you stack up of working out and doing all these good things for your body and for yourself, you start getting better and better. And you start realizing, wow, I'm better than most of the kids in my age group at, whatever I am, 10 or 11, 12, because I'm doing all this work, extra work. And, a lot of that happens is credit to my older siblings. And I hope they're proud of me. I'm sure they are, but I'm equally as proud as them too. Like I wouldn't be where I am without the support and the help of my family. I know everyone says it, but it's so true.
Now let's go back to your career, particularly starting out in Europe. As you said, it's been 6-7 years since you started on your travels. What was the trigger behind finally leaving home for Norway when you signed for Stjernen? What was the trigger point? What was the moment where you went, no, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, I was getting pretty frustrated. I was signed to an NHL contract with Washington, and I could never stick in the American League. I had a shoulder operation surgery. It took me out for 6 months, and just a lot of things weren't aligning right as soon as I turned pro. It was just a bit of a bumpy road. And I think in my 4th year pro, when I was in Utah, I just got sent down. Just got cut from the Colorado Eagles American League, and I was going down to Utah. And I remember thinking just like, okay, I'm sick of this. I'm going to quit hockey. I'm done with this. I'm just so fed up. You work so hard in the off season to get to where you want to be. And then just all of a sudden, okay, actually they tell you you're not good enough and you go back down to the ECHL and you're feeling, pretty down on yourself. And so I was thinking, you know what, I think I'm done with this hockey thing. I'm not going to do it anymore. And then I was walking around the park actually one day and I was like, you know what, like I have like I said, big family, and all my family are very well traveled. They've been everywhere in the world. And I've always been so envious of that because I want to be like that too. Like, I want to be traveled as well. Like, everyone in my family has been traveled. They've all been to Japan. I'm half Japanese, and I've never been to Japan since I was like 5 years old. And that doesn't count for me. So they have all been to Japan. They've all been all over the world. Like my little brother has been to Europe way before I was ever in there, and I was always so envious of that. So I remember making a decision that day, walking around that pond after I got cut. I was like, you know what? Like, instead of quitting hockey, I'm gonna make hockey pay for my vacations. I'm gonna go to Europe, play hockey there, and I'm gonna have fun. Like, that's what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna have fun. And that being said, like I went over to Europe to have fun, and I kind of fell in love with hockey again. The expectations weren't so high. It wasn't like, hey, I got to make the NHL. I got to make it to the American League so I can make it to the NHL, and I need to get there. Like putting so much pressure on yourself. And then when I went to Europe, I just didn't have that pressure anymore. I was like, you know what? Like not that I don't care. I definitely care, but I'm here to have a good time. And that kind of brought back the fun of the sport again, and that kind of helped you, like when you're having fun playing hockey or doing anything. Life is good, and that definitely helped me play better, and it reignited that fun and that fire for hockey in my belly again. And yeah, I fell in love with it again, and I'm super fortunate to be able to visit so many countries and to play in so many countries and for so many teams. I'm very grateful, and hopefully I can keep it going and have a good season here with Manchester.
And of course, it's not only just playing in the one country since leaving North America. You've been to a few, as I touched upon at the top of the show. So, how have you found adjusting from country to country as you go? Because I dare say, as someone who's not very well travelled, I'll admit, but there's different cultural aspects you need to take into consideration and that kind of thing. How did you find all that when you were going from Norway to Austria to Germany, etc.?
Yeah, I remember when I first went to Norway. It was my first country I went in Europe. It was a bit of a culture shock just because of first of all there was no AC there, which I'm not sure if they have that in Manchester or not, but it was really hot over there in Norway for a bit, and I remember no air conditioning kind of was not very fun. But like the dollar value was all different. I think the Norwegian crown was, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but a chocolate bar was like, I'm not sure, 1,000 crowns or something. I can't remember exactly what
Yeah.
it was, to be honest, but it was a lot different than it was in Canada. I was like, I
Yeah, I
remember
think I think
that I always had.
from what I understand, I think Norway is quite an expensive country. I've known people that have gone there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one. It is definitely expensive too.
Mm.
I found that out the hard way. I remember when I first got there, I went to get a beer at a place. I mean, granted, it was like a specialty beer place, but I got a beer thinking it'd be like, maybe, $5-10, whatever. And it was 25 euros. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, okay, well, I
Wow.
guess I'm not drinking when I'm in Norway. But I mean, I guess I'm not sure if that's the culture or what's the deal with that. But that was, yeah, it's expensive there for sure. But it's a beautiful country, and man, I loved Norway. I really did. I still do. It's an awesome country, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to go there. But it gets dark in the winter times. That's a bit, can weigh on you a bit, but that's so be it.
But is there a favourite experience from your time in Europe so far that stands out? Something in particular that makes you look back really fondly on that particular moment?
I would have to say when I played in Innsbruck in the Austrian league,
Yeah.
it was first of all, it's an absolute gorgeous town. It's beautiful. It's right in the Alps there in Tyrol in Austria, and you're really close to Italy. You're close to Germany as well. But it's a beautiful spot. That's where I met my girlfriend. Actually, it was in a bar actually there after a game. But it's just like really cool town. It's a beautiful place. The people are just awesome. And I just had a really good time there. The boys and the team were great. We didn't make playoffs that year, but we had a really good time, and we all actually had a pretty good, successful year personally, but just didn't really connect on winning the games, unfortunately. But it was just in general, it was a good time, and it was something that I really, I mean, of course, meeting my girlfriend Kate here too is something that also I take into
She's within an
consideration.
earshot. Yeah, she's within an earshot. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm on like some good points there. But yeah, no, it is great. It's great. And the people there are great people. And I mean, I love the Austrians. I love the Germans too. Like I've never met really any, like, I had never had any really bad experiences with the Europeans yet. I just, maybe because I'm on the hockey team and I hang out with a lot of the hockey guys. So maybe something to do with it, maybe that. But I've always had good experiences with the Europeans, and I hopefully that continues, I guess.
Now, I know you've played with and against some players who have gone on to play in the NHL, and honestly, we could be here all night talking about that. But one person I am curious about that you worked under, back in your Brandon Wheat Kings days in the WHL, your head coach was Kelly McCrimmon, who's, of course, these days the GM at Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Vegas, as we all know, got all the way to the Stanley Cup final this year and he also owned the Wheat Kings. He coached them as well when you were there, and he was still there when he was assistant GM at Vegas. So what was he like to work with when you think of him back then, when you're working under him and seeing him now doing what he's doing in the NHL with Vegas?
Yeah, Krim's he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's a tough coach, and he wants the best from you. And one thing I respect a lot about Krim is that he wants to win, and that's the main goal. It's about winning. And I remember there's some times, where him and I got into some disagreements, or he wasn't very happy with the way I was acting off the ice sometimes. Not that I was doing anything terrible, but missing curfew once or twice, or that kind of thing. And it wasn't happy with me, and at the time I remember we were the first place seed playing the 8th place seed, and we lost the first 2 games at home, and I skipped curfew, and he called me in, and he just reamed me out in the office, and then in the dressing room in front of all the boys, just really gave it to me. And I was just like, all right, I got to take this, because he's pissed off, he's mad. And what I respect about him, though, is that I was his first line center at the time, and he never benched me or put me in the stands for that kind of stuff, because he wanted to win. That's what he cared about, was winning. So yeah, I mean, I got my lickings from him, but at least he wanted to win. He put me on the ice, played me 20 minutes a night, and our team won the championship that year. We came back from that series, we won 4 straight, and we went on to win the championship. So yeah, Krim he's a hard-nosed guy. He's a tough guy, but I liked him. I liked him a lot. Even when he was just tearing me apart in front of everybody, I still I respected him. He's a guy I didn't love at times. I know for sure he didn't love me at times, but he was a good coach, and he wanted to win, and he won. So that's like I said, I've had some tough stories with him. I had some stories where we weren't so fond of each other, but at the end of the day, I think we respected each other, and I think he respected me enough as a hockey player to put me on the ice, and I was always responsible. I always made a good play. I hope I did anyways. And yeah, he was a good coach, great GM. I think he's one of the best GMs in hockey still. I think he is the best GM in the NHL right now for sure, and he was the best GM in the WHL for sure. So he's a guy who's got winning on his mind, and even when he's doing deals, I'm sure he's got winning on his mind too, and he's made a lot of good ones. And yeah, he's a character. He's a good dude, a tough dude, but he's a good dude.
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit ServiceNow.com.
In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
So who's your favourite player you've played with in your career so far? As I've alluded to, you've played with so many players through your career in different countries as well. Which one stands out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. You say back to the Brandon Wheat King days. I was with Mark Stone for a bit, Michael Furlan for a bit as well. Like some really good players, some really good people. One of my best buddies was Jace Howrluck. He played a couple hundred games in the NHL as well. I think second round pick to the Florida Panthers. Really good dude. I just came back from his wedding actually recently, and he's one of my best buddies for sure. He's a really good dude, and he stands out the most for me just because we really hit it off, and we were together for 4 years, so we really built a bond. And yeah, he was just a guy that just was always around. Whenever things were, going good or going bad, he was always there. So he's a guy that I consider a really good buddy of mine, and he's playing in the Switzerland League right now, and he's been doing really well there. So hopefully he keeps it up, and he's a hell of a player, and he's a hell of a guy. So
that being said, who's your most difficult opponent you've come up against?
The difficult opponent? Oh, that's interesting. Over like in professional career, or you talking more
the
like
whole lot?
Junior
Which player would you say has been the most difficult you've had to come up against?
That's a good question. I used to play against a guy named Josh Atkinson when he was in the ECHL. He was on Allen, I think, and I was in Utah. We were kind of a rival, and I just hated playing against Allen in general. They're a tough team, but this Atkinson guy actually was a guy I didn't like playing against the most because he was a defenseman. He was a great skater. He's a really good hitter and just a bit like dirty and chippy. Actually, he's a really good player, but just dirty and chippy. I just didn't like him. And of course, a couple of years later, I go to Europe and he's on my team and he becomes like a really good buddy of mine. It turns out he's an awesome guy. And of course, I feel like they're always like that. It's always like the guy on the ice you hate the most turns out to be like the best guy off the ice. And it just always seems to go that way. I went to his wedding as well too, and he's a really good guy. So he he was one guy always frustrated me on the ice because he was fast, he was physical, he was heavy, and he played a hard game. But of course, he turns out to be a beauty, great dude, and yeah, he's one of those guys who just a really, really genuine good dude. And I just find it so funny how I hated him before I even met him, and then after you meet him, it's like, oh, he's one of my best buddies. This guy, of course he is. Of course that way is. That's the way it goes.
I know, and it takes away that reason to hate them, which makes it even worse.
Oh yeah. I bring it up to him every now and then too. I just let him know, like, dude, I don't know why. Why are you used to prick to play against back in the day, huh? Why'd you got to do that?
So, do you have a favorite pre-game song? Is there a song that really gets the blood pumping before a game?
Wow, that's a really good question. I haven't even really thought about that.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I realize that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm more of a guy who likes like more like mellow and chill music before a game. I'm not really into like the heavy rock or something like that. But like if I was to say something, which whatever I'm in the moment, I guess whatever I'm listening to that those days outside of hockey is kind of what I've listened to while I'm playing hockey. But I mean, one that always like stuck with me too, of course, are like some rap songs. Those are always. I'm a rap guy. I like all kind of music, but rap is what usually gets me going. Like I was listening to some Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's a bit of a crazy guy. He's got some crazy songs, and then some like 50 Cent old 50 Cent songs too, which I really get me going. And some Pop Smoke and a little bit of Lil Peep, even though he's kind of more of a downer vibe. But for some reason, he's got some. I think he's a really good. He was a really talented rapper. Unfortunately, he passed away, but very talented rapper. And his songs always. Yeah, for some reason they kind of made me feel good before a game, like more calm. And his melody of rapping was so just, I'm not sure how to explain it really, but it just made me feel good, made me feel kind of relaxed and ready to play. And just kind of, I'm not a guy who's going out there and gonna bang and crash and smash guys. I'm more of a guy who's gonna go out there and handle the puck and make a play and get into the groove. And that kind of rhythm that he would sing would get me into the groove. So yeah, to answer your question, I'll say Lil Peep, Pop Smoke, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and like some 50 Cent or some Eminem in there too. But that's kind of where what I got, I guess.
Now, when I first contacted you, you were away on a break. So now that you're back and we're heading towards the new season, are you starting to feel ready for another new season, another new campaign?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely getting excited. The closer it gets to the date of when camp starts, the more exciting it gets for me as well. And of course, you got to make sure you're ready to go for training camp. I mean, I know now it's these days in summer are where you really improve because you have the time to take care of your body. As I get older, I'm starting to realize more that you really have to listen to your body. Like I know I do a lot of vigorous training on dry land, a lot of ladder sprints and stops and starts, and then sometimes you start realizing, oh, my knee's getting a bit sore. I'm not sure what that's coming from, but I start realizing as I get older, things are getting sore a lot easier. And then I realized, okay, I got to take care of my body. I got to make sure I'm stretching and rolling out, listening to my body more than I did when I was younger, because I was always a person that would train really hard in the summertime, my previous years, like really hard. And then I would always get hurt. I got hurt in like the first day of first game. And when I was in the Western Hockey League, tore my shoulder open. And then the next year, same thing. I was training really hard and twisted my ankle right before camp started. And just those type of things where you go too hard and then you feel like your body is just tired, and that's not what you want. And that's one thing I'm learning is like sometimes going too hard isn't the answer. You think it is when you're younger, like, okay, if I go hard, that means that's a good thing, but if you go too hard, you're going to overexert your body and your body's not going to respond well to that. So I'm trying to train smarter more than just harder. I'm still training hard, but just smarter and keep the body fresh.
Good. Well, we certainly look forward to seeing you when you get here, Tim. Before we finish, let's have a bit of fun. Some quick fire questions to finish things off. 50-50 questions, right. One or the other. Easy enough. Okay. Easy enough. So here we go. Let's start. Are you a shootout winner, man, or do you prefer an overtime winner?
Overtime winner.
Vinyl or streaming?
Streaming.
Oh. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Sweet or savory?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go savory.
Yeah, bit of a savory dude. Books or podcasts?
Oh, that's another good one. Oh, that's a really good one. I guess podcasts.
Okay. Team prankster or a serious one?
I guess more team prankster, I would say.
Yeah, like a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, I like a laugh. I'm not too serious in the room. I like to keep it light.
So, would you like to win the lottery or live forever?
Ooh. How much is the lottery? Do I get to know?
Just win the lottery. That's all.
Just win the lottery?
We'll say millions, right? We'll say millions.
Yeah, millions? Okay, I think I'll win the lottery. I don't know if I even want to live forever. I don't know. I'll take the lottery.
Okay. Serious or sarcastic?
Sarcastic.
Okay. Are you being sarcastic? Just
checking. Maybe I
am. Miracle or Mystery Alaska?
Ooh.
Couple of good movies there. Miracle. Good choice. Excellent movie. Yeah. Excellent. And this could be a deal breaker. I like asking this one. Cats or dogs?
I'm a dog guy.
Dog guy. Wow.
I like cats too. But I'm a dog guy.
It just depends what side of the fence the Storm fans follow. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, what about you, Craig? What are you? Are you a cat or a dog guy?
I'm the guy asking the questions. I don't need to answer them. That's the perk of my job. I'm a dog guy.
You don't need to answer them.
Listen, Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us on StormCast. And on behalf of the fans, I'm sure we can't wait to see you over here and doing what you do best, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really excited to meet everyone, the team, the fans, the staff, everybody. I'm really looking forward to coming to Manchester.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time, Tim. All the best, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thanks for having me, Craig. I really appreciate it.
You've just heard from Tim McGauley, another one of the new faces for Manchester Storm, and joining us exclusively here on StormCast. We'll have another player for you in our next episode, so get subscribing through your favourite podcast provider, and we'll see you again next time. Keep up to date with everything Manchester Storm on the website, manchesterstorm.com, and our social media channels too. There's so much more to come. Thanks for listening.
In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL. In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.